Welcome back to the Auto Ranch. Today we're going to do something a little different, kind of review. I've had some people ask me, what was the MSRP on your special edition GR86 and what did you pay? And then I also hear a lot of talk about, I don't think the special edition is really worth the added cost. And, I wanted to break it down kind of for my own sake and also for others. What does it really cost extra when you compare to, equally equipped premiums, a base premium and then an SE. And so we'll talk about that. But, first I wanted to review kind of the car I bought. Like I said in my original video, as soon as Toyota announced that this car was going to be built, I called up a dealer I had purchased my previous 22 GR86 from and said, hey, they announced a special edition, are you going to be selling those at MSRP? That was the first question. And he said, yeah, we're not going to mark them up. Nobody knows what, at that point, this was last summer, nobody knew what they were going to get and what they weren't going to get. But if we get one, you would be first on the list. And that was an important part too. MSRP first. Second, how many do you have on the list? Because like I said, if you kind of do the math, like I said in the previous video, most dealers are probably not, they're going to get one. There'll be exceptions. There'll be some dealers that get 5 and there'll be a lot of dealers that get none. I can't speak to how the allocation process works for the special edition. If it's anything like other manufacturers, it's probably based on the number of GR86 sales they did in model year 22. But that would just be a speculation. But that's how other manufacturers have kind of handled these special editions in the past. So anyways, for mine, I ordered the car last summer. As much as you can order a Toyota, you're really just saying, hey, I'm going to wait for my allocate, to see if the dealer gets an allocation. I think sometime in late November, early December, the dealer reached out to me and said, hey, we are going to get one. It's going to be an automatic. Do you still want it? Because I originally had said my preference was for a manual, but don't rule me out if it's an automatic. And it turned out it was an automatic, which I think, as we all talk about on the forums, I think there's a lot more automatics, going to be built on the special editions than probably manuals. It's the same with the regular GR86s also. I don't know the different ratio between one and the other and why they do that. My gut is that it seems the enthusiasts always want the manuals, but the masses may want the automatic. So. And I can't confirm that, but the reality was it was an automatic. I told him, yep, I will take it. That was in late November. Honestly, at that point, the car had already been built in Japan and was really just waiting for shipping. He told me it would be shipped, it would leave Japan sometime around the 10th or 12th of December. And then he confirmed that it did leave in the middle of December. And then the car, with Christmas time, and I'm sure there was backup at the port in California, the car arrived at the very beginning of 23. And then it sat at port for a long time, like a lot of them are. I don't think people realize, and I did originally. I thought, they shipped these things probably with the wheels and exhaust on them. And they just had floor mats and things like that at the port. But the reality is, I think they pretty much come just a virgin, premium in orange. And I think when it gets to the port, I think that's where they're doing that's probably where they're putting on the decals, on the outside, the plaque. They're changing the exhaust and the wheels. So there's a fair amount of port work that's going into these cars versus the standard GR86s. So I think that's where the delays are happening. And in my case, it sat for about a month. And then in late January, the dealer told me the car was leaving the port via train. It goes, in our case here in Southwest Ohio, they go to Chicago via train and then they're trucked down. And usually when they get to Chicago, they get here pretty quick. They don't sit up there too long. And that's what happened. I think the car got off the train in Chicago sometime around the 7th, and within 3 or 4 days, it was down here. So anyways, the car showed up and did the transaction. I was fortunate. I paid sticker. The dealers here in Cincinnati generally charge sticker for their cars, so it's not like it was some special deal that I found. But I knew who to call, and I knew the questions to ask too. And I think that's an important thing if you're looking for one of these, is that like it's not just is it MSRP, is it MSRP plus add-ons? Because a lot of dealers will say, well, we'll sell it to you at sticker, but we're going to add $3,000 worth of accessories to it that are beyond what Toyota would add. Window tint, spray-on, ceramic coating. The list goes on nitrogen tires. I mean, it's still a markup. And in the case here in Cincinnati, the dealers, we're pretty fortunate. They generally just charge MSRP plus a dock fee of $250, which is reasonable. The one exception to that is the GR Corollas. They, almost all the dealers, have been marking those up, including the dealer where I got this GR86. But that's kind of a little bit different animal. So anyways, they did fulfill what they said. They were terrific about it. I have no complaints about the dealer. I asked them not to wash the car, or really do minimal, just the PDI, and they followed through with that. So, and again, as one of the things I show at the beginning of the web pages, or at the beginning of this discussion, is my web page. Car Guy for You. That's kind of my business, is really to help people with buying cars and finding the cars they're looking for. And so, even if you live outside the Cincinnati area, I mean, this is a car. Some of the things I can help you with, if you so desire. So I'd ask, obviously, if you have an interest, check out my web page. But the base price for the car that I bought, obviously the window sticker will be up on the screen so you can look at this, was $35,860. That's the base, automatic price for the GR86 Special Edition. And the manuals, I think, are $1,500 less than this. And then mine had, it had all-weather floor mat package, which gives you the rubber mats in the front, for the floor mats, as well as the trunk mat. That was $289. Then $89 for door edge guards, and then it has a rear bumper applique that's kind of a clear. It's kind of cool. It's got an 86 kind of logo in it. That was $69. Then you add $1,095 for the shipping, and you come to a total of $37,402 was the MSRP on mine. And some of these cars have additional, there's a lot more accessories you can add, and to be honest, I didn't really have much choice. They didn't give me an option of that. I think some dealers allow you to choose kind of the port accessories, and maybe I could have, but by the time they contacted me, the car pretty much was just waiting to be shipped out, and maybe they could have edited it, but those options were fine. So that's kind of where I ended up. People will say, well, that's a couple grand higher than a base premium, and they're right. It is. It's actually $33.60 difference between a base premium and a base special edition, and that's a fair amount of money, on a car in this price range. And so I would say, I want to break down like, well, what is a similarly equipped premium GR86 look like if you add some of the features that I think people don't realize are included in the special edition. How much difference really is it? And the first thing you have to consider if you're going to look at a special edition is, do you like orange? Because if you don't like orange, there's no point in even looking at it, because there's a lot of orange in this car, from the outside to the inside to the details. So that's first off. You've got to want the orange car to begin with. So you take the base, premium, and if we're going to build it out like an SE, I used, and I'll show this on the screen, I used the track bred, basically the track bred color, because that adds, that's a cost add color. And realistically, the solar shift on the special editions would be a cost add too for the color if it was an option. So Toyota adds $425 for that. And then, again, I'm making it equivalent to my car. So all-weather floor mats, $289 on the base GR86 Premium. If you want black lug nuts on those, they're $215. Obviously, the special edition comes with those, so you have to add those to the premium. And if you want the fancy floor mats, the carpeted ones, both the floor mats and the trunk mat, which the special edition comes with special embroidered orange stitch mats, that's $289 on a premium. The door edge guards to again match what I had, $89. The rear bumper applique, $69, which I have. And then this is the big one. You know, the special editions come with the GR Performance dual exhaust, and that's $1,700. And so you have to add that to a GT Premium. And then you add your, you know, delivery and processing and handling fee. And then you come out to, let me see what the total is, $36,671. And so that's the cost of a 23 GR86 Premium automatic that would be with most of the options that you would get on the special edition, except all the other things that are included in that, and that difference is $731 is what you're essentially paying more if you were going to do a similarly equipped Premium, if that makes sense. And for that $731, you're getting all the orange details on the inside, the special edition of the fact that it has some exclusivity and potentially some possible resale value benefits down the road because there's only going to be 860 of them made. You also get those black Forged unique wheels that should be lighter, and obviously you're going to see less of those out there than you will the premium wheels. And then, of course, like I said, you have the special stripes on the outside and tons of the orange details that I've tried to capture in some of the pictures that I've shown in my other video. So then when you really look at it, is the $731 really, that's really what you're paying if you were going to buy a loaded up GR86 Premium. And I see some of those out there. People are adding, because you can add that exhaust to a regular GR86, and a lot of dealers or people who are speccing them out, they're ordering a lot of those accessories. So I think when you really break it down, $731 is not an unreasonable amount to pay for the exclusivity. And again, if you like the orange details on that car, that's really not that much of a premium. And really, when you look at the car being $37,500, and again, if you can avoid markup, it's still a great value in the small performance car segment. There's just not a lot out there today. I mean, the reality is we all wish they were $25,000 cars like they were, 10 years ago. But those days probably have come and gone. And there's still good demand for the GR86, even for the regular ones. I don't know if they'll be able to meet demand this year. There will come a point with coupes, it always does, after the first couple model years, where they start to reach their peak of supply and demand. But I don't think we'll be there this year. So that's kind of the breakout. I know that's a lot, but I wanted to try and cover this because I know it's a topic a lot of people do ask. What did you pay? And then what is the difference between the two? And so this kind of gives you a little bit of a scientific breakout comparing them. Certainly, I'm curious what you think. If you have questions or comments, I hope you'll leave them in the comments below. And I truly appreciate you for listening and checking out my videos. Thank you.